Being new to Atlanta, I knew that I would need to select a good doctor to continue my follow-up on my fluctuating levels. Well, as it turned out, at the event last year, Robin had several physicians speak. There was one in particular who grabbed my attention during his presentation. After his presentation, I introduced myself to him and asked him if I could have one of his business cards. Now, actually, I said to him, "Are you old enough to be here? I might need to see some ID." Soon thereafter, I in fact did contact him and provided him with my most recent medical history. Dr. Wong and I met, and after some testing and biopsies in April 2014, it was confirmed that I indeed was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Dr. Wong and I really connected. I had a great deal of confidence in him from the very beginning. My confidence grew as we engaged in very frank and in-depth discussions about the cancer and the various alternatives that could be taken prior to the decision to have surgery. Armed with the facts about my condition and 3 separate opinions that were encouraged by Dr. Wong, I chose to have the surgery on September 3rd, 2014. That's right, approximately 1 month ago. I am happy to report that the surgery went extremely well, as is my recovery. Dr. Wong was spot on regarding everything that we discussed. Coming face to face with one's own mortality can be a scary proposition, particularly considering Black people's historical relationship with the medical community.
That was great. Thank you for being so generous with sharing your story. And that's the whole reason why I enjoy being a doctor, is being able to help people through the whole adventure and to try and make people better as best we can. And so certainly this has proven to be a successful event last year and this year even more so, just for that one single person. Hopefully we can continue to expand that. This has been a true honor for me to be here to help share some information and be part of this organization. As Robin indicated, I'm a urologist, and so a lot of people ask me, what is the prostate and what does it do? So the prostate is a male sex gland. It is the male sex gland. It's about the size of a walnut. It sits beneath the bladder in front of the rectum, and in fact, the water passage called the urethra runs from the bladder through the prostate out to the penis. In fact, the prostate surrounds the urethra almost like a donut. So in terms of what does it do, it doesn't do a whole lot for you other than give people like me a job. So what it does is it adds some of the nutrients to the semen. And then what it does in a bad way is actually grows. And so as I said, surrounds the water passage. So it makes it so men have more difficulty going pee as it grows. And then it's a place for cancer to develop, which is what we're here to talk about tonight, at least what I'm here to talk about tonight. So what is prostate cancer? Similar to other cancers, it's an abnormal growth of cells that's uncontrolled, and it begins in the prostate, and if not caught early enough, it can grow outside the prostate and then spread to other organs as well. So how common is prostate cancer? Prostate cancer is very common. In fact, it's the most common form of solid organ cancer in men in the United States, and the second most common form of cancer death for men in the United States. So obviously it's a big disease. In fact, last year, about 240,000 men were diagnosed with prostate cancer, and about 30,000 men died of prostate cancer. These are staggering numbers. And so the one thing, though, I take away from that is many more men are diagnosed with prostate cancer than die of it, meaning we're doing a pretty good job of treating it. However, we can do better. And in fact, 1 in 6 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer sometime in their life. And for African American men, that increases to 1 in 3 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer sometime in your life. So if you're an African American man, you look to your left, you see another man, you look to your right, you see another man. 1 of you 3 is on average going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer. So certainly this is a very important disease. It's a very important disease in this room in particular.
When Dr. Pat developed the Pap smear in the 40s, they didn't know how often to do it. It was a new test. He's the father of what they call exfoliative cytology, basically taking the scraping of cells and looking at them and developing them and looking at them under the microscope. You can do that, anything can be a Pap smear, but we do equate it with cervical cancer. But they didn't know how often to do it, so they just say every year. Just do it every year. So it was a random assignment to do the Pap smear once a year. But now we have decades and decades of better understanding and research, and particularly the discovery of the human papillomavirus and its relation to cervical cancer, causing about 91% of cervical cancers. So because of all that, they have changed the recommendations. But before I get to that, for cervical cancer, we look at it we attack it in 2 ways. First is to detect early precancerous cells, and that's what our Pap smear does. And then also to try to just prevent even the precancerous cells from coming. So the first thing, you do your Pap, you're told you have an abnormal Pap smear. And I'm not going to go into the details of that because it's very, it can come back a lot of different ways. Okay, anywhere from normal to find cancer, but usually if it's abnormal, it's coming back some kind of precancerous condition. And then you'll get another test after that to confirm it. So we do the Pap smear and to try to detect and treat those precancerous conditions before they even become cancerous. But then you also want to prevent the precancerous conditions. And like I said, since we know that human papillomavirus, or HPV, is basically the cause of 91% or more of cervical cancers, we have a way to prevent even the precancerous lesions. Unfortunately, most people aren't going to do that because HPV is very easy to get. 80% of us in our sexually active lifetimes will come in contact with HPV. So unlike gonorrhea, chlamydia, okay, you have that, you get some antibiotics, and you hope there's no problems from those diseases, but there's no treatment, no medicine here for HPV. And part of that is because it's kind of like a cold virus in the sense that if you have an intact immune system, if you're keeping your body healthy, so just like Dr. Speed is talking about health, eating healthy, exercising, getting the sugar out of our diet, drinking water, we'll have a good immune system and we can fight that virus. We can fight that virus and get rid of it before it makes changes to the cells of our cervix. If it lingers, it's going to make some changes to the cells of the cervix. Okay? When we get a test back that says HPV positive, it's two ways they'll say it, low risk or high risk. Typically we don't order low risk because it's just that low risk. Those are ones that causes genital warts, so it's not something we're testing for. It's the high-risk one that can cause cervical cancer. But they can also cause vaginal cancer, vulvar cancer. Vulva is the outside of the vagina. It can cause rectal cancer and penile cancer. But those are